mentioned like when you started playing safety, you kind of got that coaching mindset in you.
Yeah.
So I know you did some, just coaching right after school, whatever, but you decided to, create your own organization.
Right.
And why did you do that?
Well, when I was at the other Pee Wee organization, Little Blue, there was some, there were just some things I was seeing I didn't like. I had never really been too much of a part of the situation until I came back home from college. And like you said, when I came home from college, I was busy coaching junior high school and high school as well. So when I did decide to start coaching the kids, it was just things within the organization that I was looking at that, man, the only way this is going to keep, surviving, or this the only way it's going to keep mentally getting these kids tougher is like I'm probably going to have to separate myself because we had, everybody had their own way of doing things. Don't get me wrong. And sometimes some people might think it's good, some people might think it's bad. But I think with me, it was just more I was looking out for the whole situation of the community. I just didn't like some of the things that was going on. And not only going on, but I felt like at the time, it was kind of affecting the community of where, once again, where I said from the beginning, where I grew up from.
Right.
And, to go out there and see people from school that I went with, I went to high school with, or I grew up with from playing Pee Wee football. And, it was just one of those, like, I can't let their kids go through this. So I kind of ended up having that organization, then going to another organization. And it was kind of like the same little scenario. I was doing the best I can to make sure everything is going the way it's supposed to. But then it was just like, it was kind of like the same scenario. So I kind of just stepped away and said, I feel like if I'm going to have issues and problems, I've been doing this forever, I might as well just start my own.
Right.
And that's kind of where I went from there. I started the Saints.
Okay, so the Hamilton Saints,
Okay.
tell me about that program. Like, what are the principles and values of the Hamilton Saints?
Principles of character, man. It's always have to be character. It's not about, I always look at the bigger picture of character. Character, that word, it goes a long way. People always like, what's, values and everything. My thing is character, because character also states like what type of person you are. Are you doing the right things on and off the field? That's my biggest thing. On and off the field. When nobody's paying attention, are you doing the right thing?
Right.
And a lot of these kids is fortunate where we grew up. Like I grew up with a good mother. Some of these kids, they grow up and who knows? Some of these kids, that's their outlet is to go to football. So I try to install the values of things. I try to install letting these kids know there is something better outside of this place than just football and things like that. Like I always want kids to understand that it's just isn't about football. I want them to learn life values, life lessons.
Yep.
I always said because when I played football, it kept me out of trouble.
Yep.
And my biggest thing of having the Saints and having the coaches that I have around them is they've been there, they've done that. And you have guys that's within the program as coaches hey, they can look at a kid and tell them, look, I know what jail looks like. I got in trouble when I was a kid. I don't want to see the same thing for you. So that's why I think it's important that you have guys that can relate to some of these younger kids, because like I said, that's what our mentors did for us, And some of these kids, they don't have father figures or mother figures. We don't know their situations, but at that particular time when they come to practice from 6 to 8, you want to make them kids feel special.
Gotcha. So, diving deeper into the Saints and football, what kind of a coach are you philosophy-wise? Offensively, defensively?
Well, right now I'm offense, but I've been doing it so long, man. A lot of my old players will tell you that I got soft. And I probably have, but that comes with age.
Yeah.
And I can't scream and yell and do the things I used to. I think more with the type of coach that I am, I just respect. deserves respect. I mean, demand respect. Should I put it like that? I demand respect. It's not about I want to be mean to you. You know, like I tell him, if I'm not saying nothing to you, that's when you should be like, oh man, coach, he ain't paying me no attention. You know, but I try to say things to everyone. So I more or less, I always, like I said, I'm a defensive coach, and I play defense, but I also coach the offense because my mindset on offense now is I try to use my mindset on offense to say, hey, if this defense is running this, how would you attack that? So that's kind of like where, you know, I fell back a little bit, and I kind of run the offense majority of the time. So, you know, defense to me has always been a easy kind of, in a sense. You just, hey, you gotta, you know, put the kids in the right position, and then if you got a couple kids that you know, hey, get to the ball and make a tackle, that's not as hard as, you know, getting the offense together and trying to call up plays and having kids that some kids may learn faster than others. You know, you have to, you know, you get those type of things that happen in football. So with me on offense is, you know, you got to kind of break things down for a lot of kids. Like this year, this is probably like the first year in 15, 16 years as a coach that I've ever had players use wristbands. But I have to have those players use those type of things because, like I said, some kids, they learn faster than others. But you always want to try to put each kid on the same level, and never feel like you have to single one kid out, like, oh, you know, you're not learning as fast, so you can't play this position. Like, no, you know, it takes time, just like anything else, especially when you're dealing with younger kids. As they get older, they start, you know, respecting a lot more things that you do as a coach. So that's what I try to do, just make it simplified. You know.
Okay. And you guys have, you know, had a lot of, you know, success winning.
Right.
How many, you know, like, if you can recall, like, championships or high finishes have you guys had in this run?
Well, the team that I have now with the Saints, the team that I have now, they're fourth graders. These boys, man, they won 3 straight championships. We haven't lost in our league in 4 years. So, you know, the process with them is that it's, you know, I'm telling them it's gonna get tougher and tougher. Like this year already, we've had 2 games where we only won 6-0.
Right.
But, you know, as a coach, I understand that. You know, everybody's going to give you their best shot. It don't matter what team it is, what's their record, they're going to give you their best shot. Also had a team, my first year ever coaching Pee Wee kids at Little Blue, we had a team, and that team won 6 straight championships.
Every year they was playing, basically.
Yeah, every year. And then the other team that I was coaching, which is they're in high school. I think they're sophomores in high school right now. That was a great team too, but it was one of those situations where we just could never get over the hump. We lost 5 championships. So, you know, you go from winning 6, then you go from losing 5, and now you're winning. Now you're at 3. Yeah. So, you know, it's sometimes it balances itself out. Like, you know, I could have looked at it like those 6 years, like, oh yeah, this is great, and then the next 5 years was like, man, we just can't win we just can't win a championship. But those boys learned life lessons. You know, they was there every year, and it wasn't like we was losing bad. That team competed every championship. So it's been a lot of championships, man.
Yes, sir.
Not even here, just also out of town as well. So
Right.
Tennessee and things like that. So.
Okay. So your program, obviously, you know, you feed into the Hamilton City School District majority. How do you feel about, like, Hamilton athletics currently, specifically football, but pretty much the state of
in a whole? It's getting better. I will say over the years it wasn't the greatest, and that's just the truth. Like, and I think anybody here or anybody from Hamilton would tell you that. Like, it's always had its sides and its good sides. And I know at one particular, I can't put what year it was, but for me as a person being from Hamilton, I was kind of done with Hamilton City Schools athletics. And I was done because I just felt like they wasn't about the things that we grew up on, from top to bottom. I didn't feel that. And I had my situations even with my program of like having little problems with situations of trying to do things for the kids that, somehow, some way, it would get shot down because of a situation which made no sense to me at the time. So I will say where it is now, it's definitely becoming a little bit, better. Do I still feel like it need work? Yeah, I sure do. I feel like there's still some things that needs to be addressed, and I still feel like there's some things that need to be changed. But who am I? I'm one person, but I also understands what things are supposed to be like, being from here, and being a part of this community. I mean, I know what some of these community people want, and I think it's in a better state right now, but it still needs some work, if I can put it like that.